And welcome to today's 5 on 5. We are pleased to welcome back Senator Ron Wyden. Senator, nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's first, before we get into all the hard-hitting issues, you were in town this weekend for a number of town halls across the state. What were some of the major topics of discussion, specifically here in Jackson County, and remind us why you hold these town hall meetings?
Well, the reason I hold them is I think it is so important to throw open the doors of government. I have held, today was town hall meeting number 740, and I don't have any speeches, no teleprompters, things of this nature. I just think it's so important, particularly in Jackson County, for there to be grassroots government. Today there was a lot of focus on trade, and obviously this has generated a lot of passions to me. I think what we ought to be doing is getting rid of a lot of the secrecy associated with these trade debates. I discussed that. And certainly Jackson County's got a lot of ag, and I think what we really ought to be doing in our state is growing things here, making things here, adding value to them here, and then shipping them somewhere.
Perfect. Let's get into something we've been really covering internationally in the media, is that deal with Iran. What is your position with that?
It is going to be a while before I stake out a position, because this is a proposal where the fine print and the details, all the annexes and all the areas that need to be reviewed are so important. I was one of 23 who voted against going to war in Iraq. I think it was one of the most important votes I've cast in my time in public service, and I do feel very strongly about keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. And there are some substantial questions that have come up. For example, what are the provisions for inspections and verification? And I'm going to be reviewing those. I sit on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, and I'm going to take some time to do it right.
Is there anything specific you want to see included or excluded from that bill?
Well, at this point, I think our country was led to believe that we were going to get something close to anywhere, anytime inspections. And I've looked at a number of news clips that would indicate that. And now we're being told that it would be something like 20 plus days before you had a chance to really do an inspection like that. So I want to know about that. I want to know about the centrifuges. And I also want to know about the prospects for nuclear proliferation in that part of the world, because a number of countries in that area feel that if this agreement goes forward, they better build a bomb.
All right, Senator, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are here with Senator Ron Wyden, and next we want to kind of talk about something we've been following locally here. This week, a new version of the Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act is expected to be brought on the floor. Part of that new version includes an amendment that has some local farmers really concerned that it could overturn the GMO growing ban here in Jackson County. What is your take on that bill, and what is your message to these local farmers?
I feel very strongly about protecting that vote that was cast here in Jackson County. Jackson County has gone on record with respect to GMOs, and I think this is real simple. I think the American people, and certainly people in Oregon, want to know where their food is coming from. They want it labeled, and so I'm going to be very opposed to any legislation that would roll back the kind of effort that Jackson County voters approved.
All right, and you know, I don't think we cannot talk about it since you are here in the presidential race.
I heard there was a presidential election coming up
around the corner, something like that. So we are getting into that race. We have seen a lot of discussion from both sides of the parties, a lot of candidates entering the race. What are your thoughts on the candidates so far in both parties?
Well, my sense is it's too early to get out there and start making endorsements. There's an awfully long time till a presidential election, but I think the real questions are going to be, how are we going to be able, particularly to create more income for our hard-hit citizens? You know, we've got so many people who are in the middle class and they're worried about falling out, and they're trying to be middle class in the future. One of the reasons that I've been supportive of trade is those export jobs often pay better than do the non-export jobs. So I think the big question for this presidential election will be about leadership, particularly on economics, how we're going to create more good-paying jobs for our people in a tough global economy.
And is running for president something you have ever thought of or considered?
I'm the Senate's designated driver. I'm the one who's not running. I'm going to stay behind and work on taxes and holding down prescription drug bills and things like creating more good-paying jobs. Practically everybody else in the Senate seems to be running for president. I think it is a tremendous honor to represent Oregon in the United States Senate. That's what I'm going to focus on.
All right, Senator, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.